Hey you guys, this is Jeremy Taylor with the DAW, and in today's video we're going to be checking out a really cool new plate reverb plugin from Rare Signals. Now, Rare Signals actually contacted me and sent me a license asking me to check this out, and they essentially said that this is supposed to be a really cool, really powerful new style of making a plate reverb. And so what we're going to be doing in this video is checking it out and giving it our first impressions. Now, I have used it maybe about 30 minutes for the first time, and I actually really like it. It sounds really good. And what I want to do is I want to just talk to you about what it's essentially designed to do. First of all, it's a plate reverb, obviously. I'm sure you guys have seen that I've done a lot of plate reverb videos, and that's just because everyone's making really good plate reverbs. The controls are very simple. You have dry wet control right here. You have your output control, which goes from negative 20 dB all the way to plus 20 dB. You have your high cut and your low cut, and then you have a button that's going to link these two so they work together. You have this really, really cool looking like waveform view right here. And then you have your decay time. This is where it becomes very interesting because the way that they did the modeling for this reverb is they actually measured the actual decay times of the real plates that they're emulating, and they don't have exact values. So these values are not exact. They actually round up and down to the nearest value. So you get 0.9 milliseconds for this session all the way up to 3.8. I'm thinking this is using impulses or something because it has a little bit of a stop. I might be wrong. I haven't really fully read the manual yet. But every impulse, I'm going to say for now, or every algorithm that it has, kind of steps in between, and it doesn't have exact settings. And this is done to give you the cleanest signal source. It's not going to modulate and shift the actual sound and stretch it out or make it shorter, because this is going to change the quality of the reverb. And I actually agree with this. I like that they're doing this because this thing sounds pretty good. I like it. Now, besides that, we have a pre-delay, 0 milliseconds to 160 milliseconds, and then we have two modes, the US and the EU. These are modeled after two plate reverbs. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to check it out and see how it sounds. So the first test is we're going to test this out on a beat. And that's because on this beat, I actually had to put some reverb on it because it was recorded very dry. So let me play you this beat. Let's take off the reverb first. Let's play you this beat. That's with it dry, and this is with the reverb that I had on it. Very short, very tasteful, and it's very dark. It's just basically there to give it a little bit of space. It's almost invisible. Let's check out what this can do. Now, one thing is that the low cut filter is placed before the reverb, and the high cut is after the reverb. So when you're cutting the lows, it's preventing low end frequencies from going into the reverb unit. And then when you're cutting highs, it's cutting them out of the output of the reverb unit. So pretty interesting and really cool thing to keep in mind. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the mix to, let's do 10, whatever 10 means. And let's see how it sounds right off the bat. Let's change to the EU mode and let's listen to that decay. I really like that decay. A little bit metallic, but that's a plate reverb. It's going to be metallic. Okay, that one sounds really, really good. Listen to that decay. I like that. It has that metallic tone to it that plates actually have. Someone actually left a comment in a past video saying I've never used an actual plate. I used to work at a very big professional rock and roll studio, and we actually had a couple plate units. I just learned at a rock and roll studio, and we destroyed things. We made things sound crushed, and we made them distort. So that's why I tend to like to really, really give my reverbs like a run for their money. I want to make them sound as crazy as possible because I want them to have a character to it. And for this one, I actually think this does have a good character to it already. Let's see what happens if we make this as long as it can go. I like that low end buildup. Listen to that low end decay. Let's change to the US. Much cleaner, much glassier. Let's make it shorter. So right now, the EU one is definitely my favorite. Let's make this, I don't know, 2 seconds, I think. And let's try the low cut. really smooth. Let's try the high cut. And then let's try combining these. I like it. It sounds like a really high quality plate. Let's try it out on the US mode, again combined. I also really like how it changes the colors of the buttons. Let's go to EU. Pretty cool. Let's try just having the low and high cut separately. Try the high cut. I think around 4K is good, and then we're going to bring this up to 200 Hertz. And let's see which one works. Also, notice how when I change between the reverbs, the decay time changes too. That's really cool. I like that. It's showing you that it's being consistent. Let's try making the mix a little bit less, like 4. Let's try the EU. Let's compare that to the original reverb. I really like that. That sounds really good. Moving on, I've decided we're going to not use this anymore. We're going to stick to the transatlantic plate. Again, another mouthful because my mouth is really dry. And let's go to the vocal. So this vocal has a bunch of stuff going on, and originally I had a Valhalla vintage verb. I just scrapped it because I thought, why not? Let's try the transatlantic plate. Let's actually have a stock instance where everything's back to normal. So let's just type plate. Put this on here, set this to 100, and let's see how this sounds stock with the way that this vocal sounds. Let's first bypass it.
I said, forget what you heard, you know it's all about a dollar.
Turn it on.
People so broke, make a grown man holler, holler.
Let's go right here.
I said, mama need a house, baby need some shoes. You think it ain't about the paper, then you got it confused.
Really smooth decay. Let's try the EU.
I said, mama need a house, baby need some shoes. You think it ain't.
Again, really smooth decay. I really like the way that this thing looks in the center. The only thing that I really kind of wish could happen in maybe an update is if you guys would make the UI bigger. Or at least have a resizable UI to have double the size. That would be even cooler. But I like how all these buttons are big, and the letters are actually relatively big, so not really a problem. It's more like in a big 1080 or 4K screen, it would be kind of cool to be able to see it at a big image. But the sound quality is really good. Let's try messing with the high cut and low cut. I'm thinking I'm going to stick to the EU for this one too.
I said, mama need a house, baby need some shoes. You think it ain't about the paper, then you got it confused. Many men have died and tried in the pursuit of the cash.
Try the
Say
US.
you make too much, the IRS on your ass. Now ain't it funny how this money done changed the world? Global stocks go flop, put your world in a swirl. What you gonna do now? You ain't got the bread to...
Okay, these have a really nice little character to them. Let's see how this sounds in the mix.
I said, mama need a house, baby need some shoes. You think it ain't about the paper, then you got it confused. Many men have died and tried in the pursuit of the cash. They say you make too much, the IRS on your ass. Now ain't it funny how this money done changed the world? Global stocks go flop, put your world in a swirl. What you gonna do now? You ain't got the bread.
I really, really like this thing. That's going to be it for this video. This really was just me checking this out, giving you my first impressions, and basically walking you through the UI in about 2 weeks. I think I'm definitely going to have to do a review on this thing. It sounds great. Another thing is that the pre-delay is super clean. I guess they want this to have the most pristine pre-delay, so it's just going through a plate, and the pre-delay is just a time delay before the signal starts reacting. So that's really cool, and I like that. That basically means it's not going to add any modulation. I hope you guys like this video. Check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. But this is the Transatlantic Plate Reverb from Rare Signals. Definitely something worth checking out. Anyway, with that said, this is Jeremy with the DAW. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
I said, mama need a house, baby need some shoes. You think it ain't about the paper, then you got it confused. Many men have died and tried in the pursuit of the cash. They say you make too much, the